Hey, welcome to Alternative. My name's William, and I've got some new albums I want to talk about. First up, Love, Fame, Tragedy with Life is a Killer. This is the second solo album from Matthew Murphy, the frontman of the UK band The Wombats. He's always been good at supplying the hooks, and that's no exception with this latest batch of songs, though I will say he's struggling to really knock me off my feet here. That being said, I'm still having a good time with these songs outside of the infectious opening singles. Tangerine Milkshake and Ain't No Need to Try are a couple of big standouts on the back half, and I find his kinda quirky but often bleak lyrics on life to be quite amusing. We got a new album from Bayside, There Are Worse Things Than Being Alive. Album number 9 from the New York rock band. I've been a fan since their 2008 album Shudder. They peaked for me with their following 2011 album Killing Time, and since then they just haven't had the same impact on me. I gotta say though, 20 years into their career, frontman Anthony Ranieri is honestly sounding as strong as ever, and these songs, for the most part, are landing their mark. I guess I'm just not that wild about the heavy dose of shredding guitar we get throughout the album. The kinda classic rock-leaning energy they give off isn't my cup of tea. And they also started releasing songs for this album nearly 2 years ago, and by the time of its release, 9 of the 11 songs were already public, and I feel like that held this album back from holding much fresh energy. And it doesn't help that the 2 unreleased tracks don't bring much to the table. Ultimately though, I'm happy they're still making music. I really like that they're going hard with these songs and giving us that high energy. And while they're not getting to me like they used to, there is one song here that really hooks me in with its full speed ahead chorus, and that's Good Advice. It was one of the first songs released all the way back in the summer of 2022, and it wasn't until revisiting it with this album that I fully appreciated just how strong of a chorus they pulled off with that one. Next up, we got Belmont with Liminal. This is the third album from this proggy pop-punk band out of Chicago. Their second album with Pure Noise Records following 2022's Aftermath, which is when I caught on to them. Songs from that album like Fully Sent, Bowser's Castle, Country Girl, and my favorite, What I Lack, had this band really standing out as a special new discovery in my life. Looking back on the run, I just needed to hear the most, 'cause now I understand how it overlaps. And they're continuing to keep me impressed with this new album. They have a sharp, aggressive sound full of shredding guitar, chugging breakdowns, and backed by some ferocious drum work. Every song off this album fits right in on the workout playlist, and it's just a non-stop good time. Though I gotta say, when I look back at some of those big standouts from their last album, I can't quite say any of these new songs are sparking the same amount of excitement in me. I'm looking for the big hooks that not only punch me in the gut, but ignite some real feeling in me. And while these songs all hit hard and all come through with the hooks, nothing's taking my breath away. At the end of it all though, a hell of a fun time with this album, and when it comes to my favorite, at this point I'm leaning towards the back half track N2, because it just pulls off this chorus that hooks me in melodically more than anything else here. And lastly, we have the latest from the Ghost Inside with Searching for Solace. I got a death grip! Album number 6 from this California metalcore band. I caught on to them around the time of their 2014 album, Dear Youth, and I look at them as the first band, and honestly one of the only bands, that really had me appreciating this more melodic, hardcore sound. Up until that point, if you didn't have a clean vocalist, I wasn't interested, but they managed to get to me with a very emotionally driven sound, and they proved to me that you didn't need a clean sung hook to pull off a catchy song. And two of the songs from that album, with the title track and my favorite, With the Wolves, have gone down as two of the most emotionally pummeling songs I've ever heard. This new album marks their second album back after their terrible tour bus crash in 2015. And the big thing of note here is the development of Jonathan Vigil's vocals, as he's not only supplying the juicy screams, but he's also showing off his strength as a clean vocalist. It's been built. This makes for a much more accessible, even radio-friendly sound at points, which I'm sure not all Ghost Inside fans are stoked on. But they're definitely not going soft on us, as this album is still full of their heavy-handed energy, and we're still getting screams in every song here. You just gotta accept a bit more of a generic hard rock sound with these hooks. And that's not to say they're bad songs. I find they all pack a solid punch, and they're not coming off corny or uninspired. And while they're not getting to me with that intensely emotional strength of those past favorites with the Wolves and Dear Youth, it's clear what this album is here for, and that's to pump you up, to get you moving. These songs are sure to be hits at the live shows, and all around, I'd say this album is a success for the band. That wraps up my thoughts on these albums. Check them out. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.